I feel elaboration is needed for my previous video because evidently a lot of people didn't understand what I was saying and sort of interpreted what I was thinking instead of just listening to what I said. So, before we get into this video, let me make a few things clear. I am really looking forward to Quantum Break as a game. I've always been looking forward to it, and in many ways, I'm looking forward to it more so now that it's coming to PC because I'll be able to get the better version of it. I also do not hate the Xbox, like some people suggest. If I really hated it, why would I have bought it in the first place? I'm critical, but that doesn't mean I hate it. Thirdly, I don't take any satisfaction in seeing people denied access to games, right, in terms of exclusivity. Ultimately, it is a good thing for gamers at large that a game becomes multi-platform because it means that more people are able to play it. That is a good thing. But that doesn't mean that there's nothing to be said about platform worth and personal platform worth depending on what the platform offers and what it loses. Here's something that I think a lot of people need to admit to themselves. There are a lot of things that you will buy over the course of your life that you bought with part of the value extracted from it being that other people don't have it, or that other people don't have things that are offered by it. If you buy a new car that's got these cool features or just plain looks nicer, you get a new phone with new features with a better screen. These are all things that other people don't have that you're happy about, not because, oh, the phone itself is nice, but partially, maybe it's a small part, maybe it's a big part, but partially, part of what you're thinking is, I've got something nobody else has, or I've got something less people have. I've got something exclusive. Exclusivity is something that a lot of people strive to get because it makes them feel better about themselves. Now, say what you will about whether or not that makes them a sad person. I mean, if someone extracts their value out of products and services that they get, like, oh, I'm part of this exclusive club, I've got this product, then yeah, I'd say that that's quite sad, especially if you put way too much inflation on something like that. But at the end of the day, it is a fairly normal thing that people do. It's just that people say, well, it's stupid when it's video games, but then they completely ignore that when it comes to all of these other things in their life that they strive for exclusivity for. Don't lie to yourself. There are things that you will buy where partially a factor is that you've got something nobody else has. Now, if we apply that to video games, the way that it's always been in the consoles is that when you buy another platform, you are buying it for the purpose of getting something that you couldn't have otherwise played on your other systems. For example, if you got a PS2, the reason you bought that was probably because you could play games on it that you couldn't play on your PlayStation 1, both multi-platform and exclusive. The same goes for the likes of the Xbox 360 from the Xbox, or the N64 from the SNES. It's always been this way. Because otherwise, if you're just buying a platform that offers every single game that you can already play, you wouldn't buy it. I mean, yeah, sure, there might be a visual bump, but I don't think that's enough for most people to warrant the purchase of a new platform. They want to get new stuff. They want to get exclusive stuff, whether it be multi-platform, as in exclusive to what they previously couldn't get, or a flat-out exclusive game. Because when I use the term exclusive for multiplats, I don't mean like timed exclusives or console exclusive. I just mean exclusive as then it excludes the people who had previous gen systems. So, answer this to me. Explain this to me, guys, who said that there's nothing that devalues the Xbox One because more of its games are available on different platforms. Think about it this way. If what your platform offers, your platform of choice, if what it offers can be replicated better everywhere else, what is the point? What is the point of that platform? See, as someone who owns a gaming PC, who also has an Xbox One, Quantum Break coming to the PC, along with all of the other Xbox games coming to the PC, devalues my Xbox One for me. Now, it might not devalue it for you, but it devalues it for me. And the reason why is because the games that I bought the system to play on that system are now being put on a platform that I am obviously going to choose to get them on. Because I'm not going to willfully choose to get the worst version of a game just so that I can feel good that I bought an Xbox One. Now, if you don't have a PC, then yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't feel like the Xbox One has potentially been devalued. You don't have a PC, so it's not really going to affect you. In which case, you shouldn't be overreacting. Because you only owning an Xbox One and other people getting those games, it still doesn't really affect you. But as someone who owns a PC and an Xbox One, it does. And it doesn't affect me in that I can't enjoy the game now, because this has nothing to do with the game itself. The game itself is separate from this issue that is pretty much objective. As someone who owns a PC, I own an Xbox One that offers pretty much nothing except for a few games that I already own that I can't also play on my PC. And the way that I see it is that it's not irrational for me to look at the future, not just this one game, but the future as a whole, and be like, well, they're putting all their games on the PC, I don't really need this. So it is devalued. Yeah, it's ultimately good that it's multi-platform. It's a good thing. But as someone who owns an Xbox One, it just means that I'm not going to use it anymore. I'm probably never going to use it anymore. Unless there are some actual exclusive games, because I have no incentive to. And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. It's perfectly logical. If I've got a PC that can play these games better at a higher frame rate, which is very important to me, and to a lesser extent, you know, better graphics and resolution or anything like that, I'm obviously going to do that. But here's the thing, right? Here's the way that I look at it. There's no need to necessarily overreact to a significant degree over this news, especially if you do only own an Xbox One. Because for you, it shouldn't devalue your platform, because you only own an Xbox One. So for you, it means that you aren't affected by this at all. It literally just means other people will be able to play the better version of the game. But if you're a person like me who owns the two platforms, and then the game comes to PC, if you say to your mind that that doesn't devalue the Xbox One for you, I don't get you. I really don't understand how that wouldn't devalue it for you. You've bought something redundant. And what really frustrates me as well is that people don't seem to understand when someone says me, my, you know, as in my Xbox and not the Xbox One as a whole. Because the two have very different connotations. For me personally, I feel like my Xbox One is worth less now. Is it completely worthless? Well, it depends on what games I can play on it that aren't anywhere else, because that's what I bought it for, to play games that I couldn't have played elsewhere, because otherwise it would be redundant, and a lot of people don't understand this. But, you know, unless there are some games like that, I'm probably never going to use it again, because I have no reason to, other than to potentially play games I already own. But that's not really the same thing, is it? You want new games. And the thing is, right, is that it's not good for the Xbox One as a platform. It's not. But that doesn't really bother me. It doesn't bother me what's good for the platform itself, because it's not my concern how Microsoft's platform goes for them. That's their problem. I'm just looking at this purely from my perspective. It is ultimately good. I will reiterate this again. It is ultimately good that Quantum Break and other Xbox One games are coming to PC. More people get to play them, and it's good for me because it means I'll be able to play the better versions of this game. Of not this game, of these games. But as an Xbox One owner who also owns a gaming PC, it is worse for me that I own this platform because it doesn't have the value for me. It's funny. I got to explain this really simply. This is somehow a baffling concept, evidently, because I've seen so many people who have just poorly articulated what they've been saying, who have been acting irrationally, and it's very frustrating that when someone says something perfectly reasonable about the value that they're extracting themselves out of something, like, oh yeah, I'm wrong about how I feel. That makes perfect sense. That's great. Bravo. Good job. Wouldn't it be nice if gamers just started to act a little bit more rationally? If they tried to listen to what people were saying instead of flipping out, being stupid, and losing their minds over things that don't really matter, and getting upset that someone else feels that something that they own does not offer them that value for their own reasons. What a dick, right?